Caldwell entering our next week of practice and competition.
So how would you evaluate the week?
I think towards the end of last week, we started to turn a corner, just as far as being able to push through things and deal with adversity and not paying so much attention to the scoreboard or how the refs, us, were calling the fouls and just kind of being a little more gritty, which is good. I think we had a good one today. So we're just going to try to continue to build off that. We're adding a lot of stuff right now just to be ready to go for our scrimmages. So we have 3 presses in right now with a little bit of variations both ways, and then we're just going to start adding our sets and our quick hitters and zone offense throughout the rest of this week.
Were you able to maintain that energy? We talked about that day 1 energy, trying to make day 2 that just as good.
No, we needed you to give the pregame speech. I didn't do it. No, we didn't. We did not. And last week was a tough week for us because we crammed it all together. They didn't have a day off last week, so they were, by the time Wednesday hit, they were done. And I think we're ready for some new competition, so we're going to try to do some inter-squad stuff before we hit the road, and have a real scrimmage, just so we can kind of shake things up, because they've been going since into June.
You feel that you're right on pace where you need to be, a little behind, a little ahead?
I'm always, you can ask me whenever, I will always feel like we're behind. So we have some moments where I'm like, okay, there it is. Those are the marks we should be hitting, or that's the energy, or that's the grit, that's the grind we're looking for, because, again, that's what we're trying to be about. But I'm always going to feel like we're behind, and I think that's just coach talk.
How does your team respond to that then? If they feel like you feel like you're behind, how do they get ahead?
I think they know that. I think they feel that. I think we're going to start putting in some longer hours this week. Gave them an option of whether they wanted to just have a longer practice or if they kind of wanted to do a 2-a-day. And they made the grown-up choice. They chose 2-a-day. And so we're going to run 2-a-days this week just to get some extra shots up, get more work, more gym time, more time around each other. And so I think that's a huge step, because almost any team would want to just take the shortcut and be like, hey, let's just get in and get out. But they're choosing to come back in, so I think that's a really good sign for our program.
Is that a test on your part, or just a genuine choice?
It was a genuine choice. We did kind of preface it with what do you want rather than what you need, or do what you need rather than what you want. But, I mean, they still could have just made their choice. Our schedule, I think we talked about it last week. You have some players that are here from – we start practice at 8 a.m. If we're doing film at 7:30, they're here very early in the morning, and then they don't get out of class till 8:50 at night. I mean, those are long days. Those are not days I want to do ever. I'm telling you one thing, I'm in bed at 8:50 at night. So for them to make that choice, I think it means they're serious about winning.
Have some leaders started
Yeah,
doing work?
yep. I think we're working on that too. And the more adverse situations you can put them in, the more opportunities you give leaders to step up and kind of distinguish themselves. And so we're still working on that. I think it's a good sign that we have this problem identified now. And if we're dealing with this now in October, hopefully we don't have to deal with it in November and December.
Any particular player you want to mention in that regard?
Yeah, we have a small group. I think Bree's doing a really good job. Ace, who you're going to talk to, is doing a really good job. I think they lead different ways. Abby was here last week. She doesn't love to be vocal, but she leads by example. And when she does talk, people will listen. And so we just need to be more consistent with our leaders. But I think we have people there whose mindset is in the right space. I don't think we're a selfish team. I think we're a competitive team, and we just got to learn to find the balance.
Any surprises this couple of weeks? Things that positively stand out to you?
Again, my mindset is usually negative. I think a big surprise was them choosing to come back in. I think that they are willing to do whatever we ask, which to me is a very positive surprise. So, I mean, if we're telling them they're not meeting the mark, we're behind, they'll say, lock in, let's get it. What do we need to do? So they are very eager to reach the bar that we set. And so that to me is, usually you have to pull people along. Like they want to do it, which is good.
Why do you think that you are being successful so far with that buy-in from them?
Yeah, I mean, I think every day we go, we are flying around. And if you come watch a practice, and I know, again, our practice time is rough, there are bodies all over the place. I would say it's going to be hard to find a team that practices as hard as we do. And I take pride in that. And if we practice this hard every single day, imagine how hard they're going to play when the popcorn's popping and there's people in the stands. And so to me, I think that's a really, really good sign. And that's another positive thing that I've seen so far is usually when people walk in, they say, wow, like your practices are insane. And they are insane. But we want to play how we practice.
So where did you get that? Practicing that hard and that?
I want our game days to be our off days, and I'm a firm believer in that. I want practices to be harder than games, and I want games to be our easy, our light days, our days that are not as bad. And I'm a big believer that helps you. That makes game days are supposed to be fun, right? Practices. I want practices to be fun. I think our best practices are practices we can joke and we can laugh. I don't know that we're quite there yet, but we will be. But game days are supposed to be fun days. We're supposed to have big bench energy. We're supposed to have a good time. We're supposed to laugh. It's supposed to be a good experience. And so if you practice hard, hopefully that leads into having good game days.
Obviously, the fans and the environment are part of that game day experience too. Just how is this a squad that kind of you think will feed off that energy and really enjoy that atmosphere?
I really do. I really, really do. I haven't seen it yet. So come out and watch us because I really do think that we will play 10 times harder when we have a fan base. And we've only practiced in front of like 3 or 4 people every day. But you can kind of just tell we have that, I don't want to say swag, but we have that gamesmanship. All right, put people in the gym. And that goes back to your question about your first day of practice. Well, first day of practice, media was there. First day of practice, I was mic'd up. First day of practice, we had cameras everywhere. So we're going to go a little bit harder than normal. And so I think on game days, I think we're going to be able to put it up a notch.
You mentioned that swagger. Is that a little bit more of a chip on the shoulder maybe? They're gonna really go out there and fight for it?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're going to play with a chip on their shoulder. We talk about being a blue-collar program, work for everything you have, take something that somebody else has. And so I think that a chip on your shoulder is really necessary. If you're going to press and fly around for 40 minutes, you almost have to have a chip on your shoulder. That sense of urgency. Let's get the ball back.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Got it.
This is Azlin Hayes, who joins us from Mississippi State. You might remember Azlin as the 2020 Freshman of the Year with Middle Tennessee back in Conference USA. So, any questions for Azlin?
So go back from there to now. What's that journey been like for you?
I can say it's been a very fun journey. I mean, just going from playing Conference USA, that was a different type of, conference, and then also playing the SEC. I can say I have had different experience with both conferences and seeing how different people play.
So now you're at Marshall. Can you go through your process of what made this the right place for you?
I can say Coach Kim. She literally, the first time I came on campus, I just had so much in common with her. She loves to win and I love to win. And she's very competitive, and she's just very down to earth and very real, and who doesn't love to win? And she loves us winning as much as me, so.
So she's talking about how difficult practices are. Compare that to where you've been. Is she the toughest coach yet?
I can say she is one of the toughest coaches that I have had. I can say for practices, I have never practiced this hard. My body is wow every single time I get out of practice, but I know at the end it's all going to be worth it. So she's getting us very prepared. It's crazy, our practices, but it's fun and very competitive. So
How do you think you're growing under her and developing?
I can say I'm becoming a better leader, and she trusts me, and so that gives me a lot of confidence in myself. And like I said, before I came here, I didn't really talk as much, but she's making me become a better leader.
So how's it playing with your sister?
I love it. Growing up, it was always competitive in our household because it was actually 3 of us. So I have my younger sister, she plays at WKU, and my older sister, she's playing overseas right now. So I always got to play with my sisters, and just for her to be here with me, it's just amazing.
What do you like most about playing in the system?
I can say that we do a lot of So we run a lot. So like that's like my game. I love to like get to the basket, and Coach Kim, she's all for that. And I can say just run and go. And when I drive in, if I don't have the layup, I can kick it out to my teammates because they're great shooters too. So just doing that.
You mentioned leading. What kind of leader are you?
I can say like if stuff isn't going right, like on the court, I'll get my teammates. I'll tell them, be like, come on, like get next play. Just little stuff like that. Just being like the one that's like, if something's not going right, I can change it.
Did that come from having sisters that also played?
Yes, because I learned from my older sister, because when I was down and stuff, she would always tell me, you know what, Aislinn, you got it. Next one, you got it. So.
Are you tired of the preseason? Want to get to play some ball?
Yes, I'm ready to play. I am. Yes, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.